Good morning. My name is Chessie Green, and I'm honored to have been asked to come and speak to you today about my experience as a receiver of care from the Stephen Ministry. To give you a little background about how this came about, I'll give you a quick synopsis of my life, starting just about 5 years ago. My life was pretty routine and quiet, a bit too quiet, to be honest, and it was all about to change very rapidly. My parents moved from Raleigh, from their home in Statesville, where they had lived for 43 years in the same home, at the same church, in an active community of volunteering and friends. My dad's health was declining, and he had finally had too many falls. It was something we had all talked about for years prior, but when it came to fruition, it all happened very fast. It took many months of back and forth to get their house cleaned up, cleaned out, and sold. Moving is a trauma for sure. Then the following summer, I went to China to pick up my newly adopted daughter, Cece. She had just turned 4. She had been in an orphanage since the age of 4 months old after having been found in an industrial area. This is a common scenario there. I was told she had a speech delay, but surely would catch up once she had some good care and TLC. Unfortunately, this was an oversimplification of what ended up being a series of complex developmental problems. Over the following years, we would come to discover she had neurogenic hearing loss, developmental delay, ADHD, and a language processing disorder called childhood apraxia of speech. Think of someone that you know that may have had a stroke. They have words in their head that they would like to say, but they can't get them out. Their face and their tongue can't make the shapes needed to say the words, and the words in their brain are all mixed up. This is the reality for children with this diagnosis. Some have a very mild form that resolves with therapy. Cece has the worst degree of apraxia. She will struggle to communicate for the rest of her life. To sum it up, Cece was a traumatized and sometimes traumatizing child in a new country with a new mother and grandparents, and we had no idea what we were doing. This was not what I envisioned when this journey started. I was out of my depth. Then add the COVID pandemic starting 8 months after her arrival. Talk about trauma. Things snowballed from there. Some really good, some not so good. There was another move. That was good, but hard. Dad fell, broke a hip, and died not quite a year later. That was not so good. I was still working, parenting, caretaking, and working in and managing my veterinary practice through a global pandemic. My business was fulfilling its mission. My staff was employed, and my patients were getting the care they needed. That was good. But Mom would ask me, and still does, what is the plan for the day? At that time, my answer was, just survive the day. As a veterinarian, I'm accustomed to being the caretaker, the problem solver, the healer. We are often characterized as a profession of independent, introverted, workaholic perfectionists. I identified with that characterization. But one day, I gathered up the courage to ask Janet Striegel, when she was at an appointment with Sweet Fozzie, to match me with a Stephen minister. I needed help. Just surviving was not serving me, my work, my mother, or my daughter well. I was treading water, and drowning was not far away. This is where the God wink happens. Without the team fully knowing Cece's background or specific disabilities, they matched me with Marion, a retired speech pathologist who had a career in caring for children and adults with the most severe speech and language disabilities. For the last almost 3 years, we have met for lunch or coffee, talked on the phone, and shared text messages. We have prayed for each other. Marion got to know me by always asking me, what did I need? How could she help me? What prayers did I need each week? She became my sounding board about the daily struggles of parenting a child with complex needs. She helped me navigate the new world of IEPs, multiple specialists, and a host of other challenges I had no idea I was going to face before Cece arrived. We have laughed and cried together. We have shared moments of righteous indignation. She has comforted me when I needed it the most, She has encouraged me and lifted me up to help me be the mother I'd hoped to be when this journey started. She's been able to show me how to receive the help I needed. She showed me grace and mercy. Previously, those were my spiritual gifts that I gave to others. But she showed me how to receive those blessings. That is what a Stephen minister does. Cece, Mom, and I are still surviving, but now we are also thriving. Life is still challenging. It is for everyone. I am so very grateful to the Stephen ministry for matching me with Marion. She was who I needed when I needed her. She is now a dear friend and confidant. The love she has shown me helped carry me through a very dark time. If you or a friend may need someone to show them grace and mercy, please do not hesitate to reach out and ask for it. I am a better person for having done so.